Are you crying? Are you crying?
No, we're not crying. It's just the opposite. Everybody should be excited. Everybody should be happy.
Stop.
Put in the Book show is here.
Stop.
Our first off-season special of the
Special.
off-season special. Got a lot to talk
On a cat?
about. Good morning. Good morning.
Vietnam.
Good morning.
What's
Good
up?
morning.
What?
Yeah,
Barbara?
coming from a guy with
Mom?
no job. Good morning.
What's
Yeah.
up?
You just got up, you lazy bastard.
I have. What are you talking about? It's unbelievable.
What?
The thing that we're going to cover the most here is we're going to be talking about Jacob deGrom. This is the Jacob deGrom hour.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Nope.
Oh, God.
No, we're gonna go back and talk through what we predicted for this past season, see how close we were, see how far off Joe was, and the such. Then we'll talk about some free agency, what's going on with the Mets, who they're meeting with, and all that good stuff. But again, this is the Put in the Book show, first off-season special of this off-season. I am Steve. I got Keith right over there.
Yo.
We got partial Keith. Sometimes his shoulder shows up. Sometimes there's no shoulder. Sometimes it's the floating head. So those are the things that we got to deal with.
He's a mute.
I got Rodriguez right down there.
What's up, people?
What's up, man? How's it
Welcome
going? How's
back.
it hanging?
It's right in the middle.
All right. That's kind of where that's
good.
even keeled. Right in the middle.
I'm in a good mood today, actually.
Oh, well, that's quite the opposite of our friend behind the fake glass window. Remember that? Maybe he used to be behind the fake glass window. Now he's behind the cement wall back there. Producer Joe, how's life hanging for you?
Everything is great. Everything is wonderful. I'm very happy. I'm a happy guy.
This
I'm
is
a very happy guy.
Who is that guy? Who's that again?
Who's that guy? No, I don't.
doesn't translate.
I think something happened. No, it doesn't.
No, it's not.
Emotional damage.
There it is.
Oh, there it
That's
is.
what it
All
is.
right. Why don't you go ahead and get this bad boy started for us, Producer Joe, and then we'll get into some of our Mets business, our business. All right, let's
go.
boom. Let's get us reeled back in here before Terzio jumps the gun in here and starts
Oh boy, here we go.
blaming
Gonna talk
McCann
about the Jets.
for
McCann.
for our World Cup issues. All right, so which we don't have any World Cup issues. USA, U.S. Germany lost today. Let's do it.
We do have some issues. We need to score some goals, but
Hey,
other than that, what about that
goals
defense? Oh
are
my
overrated.
God. 2
What
shutouts
we
in
did
a
to
row.
England. This is a baseball show.
This
Keith.
is a baseball
It is not
show.
a
Last I
soccer
heard. I don't know.
soccer
what's
show.
going on.
Did you hear there's some turmoil in the Knicks front office?
All right, let's get to
There's
our
always
what we did
Always.
last year. Well, actually, before we do that, I don't think I personally need the energy. Maybe producer Joe does. He seemed a little down before, but get that man some coffee. What kind of flavors we got going on from him? Brooklyn, water, coffee,
Very
roasters. This
He's
is the
happy.
year. This is the time of year for that one. Giddy
There's a
up.
new flavor that I truly love. It's called cat
Oh
litter
my God.
box. www.brooklynwatercoffeeroasters.com. My favorite, of course, is Cinnabuzz, Morningwood,
Go.
and Farace's favorite is dark roast, dark chocolate. It's a rich
Hell
chocolate,
yeah.
delicious flavor, dark
Hey,
roasted
what's the
beans.
language?
You just gotta watch the way you drink it. Moderation, people, because it has dark
Thank you.
chocolate in it. Although it's delicious, it's full of
And
calories,
nutritious.
right? How many calories actually, Farace? I forgot.
Absolutely settled.
Are you freaking kidding me? Go get 3
I
bags,
kid you
people.
not.
Oh my
Get 3
God.
bags because if you act now and use code Pop Culture Pros, all capital letters, you can get that 3rd
Wow.
bag free. Don't be cheap. Are we still doing that deal?
Yeah, no, I'm just like you remember the the code.
I always remember it. I just mess with you guys. PopCulturePros.com is the place to be. www.Brooklyn Water Coffee Roasters is the place to be.
Okay.
Go out there and get yourself a couple bags of coffee. There's a lot of delicious flavors out there, such as morning wood. I love morning wood. Every day I have a.
Show you and your boyfriend too.
Wait, who?
Not
Who's
that
my
there's anything
boyfriend?
wrong with that.
No, I mean,
But
right.
That's who you guys.
Farace.
I have I have an opossum as my boyfriend. Frosty
Bruh.
loves opossums. Bruh. No, seriously, check them out. There's a ton of flavors out there, delicious flavors, and don't be scared to try them out. You will love it. www.brooklynwatercoffeeroasters.com. From their roastery to your front door. And really, the big bonus is all orders are guaranteed to ship within 24 hours of its roast date. So you're getting some really fresh roasted coffee. It's delicious. You will
Good.
not get that at any supermarket anywhere near you, and you get 3 bags for the price of 2 using Pop Culture Pros, all capital letters, as your promo code.
Always
Check them
double
out
bag.
today.
Very well done. I was trying to think of the name of the holiday one. Is it Winter Wonderland?
Winter Wonderland. That's another one. It's a white chocolatey. I don't remember the flavors off my head, but I know it does off the top of my head. But I know it does have a white chocolate flavor to it. That one's delicious. It is
Not
delicious.
big on white chocolate, but it's to each their own.
You're such a
Uh,
racist.
Well,
Yeah,
just call me
seriously.
Jerry Jones. Just call me Jerry
All
Jones.
day.
Uh,
All day.
Let's
Come
get into that,
on.
Jerry Jones, right? So no,
No, I don't want to get into Jerry Jones.
let's
We
get
have a
into the
show
next one.
coming up next at 7:30 called Unsportsmanlike Conduct, and we're going to lead in with a little Jerry Jones discussion. But for this bad boy right here,
Aaron Judge.
let's go really quickly through predictions and then
Oh.
reality. What actually happened?
Let's
So
see.
and let's start off with Purdue. We're gonna go just in the same order as we went in the show that we did this back in March. And so first off, James McCann, our beloved catcher. Everybody wants to dump him now, obviously. But so here was our prediction for James McCann: 244. We were slightly off there. 14 home runs and 50 RBI. So 3 and 18. So very close. Very, very close. And producer Joe had, he projected the lowest average at 225, but he also projected the highest number of home runs at 15.
It is really close on a sliding scale of
don't get it.
bullshit.
Okay. All right. So let's not
Horrible.
spend too much. Let's not
No.
spend too much time there. Let's
No.
move it on along to
Alvarez is coming.
our big boy, our big bat at first base, Pete Alonso, just continues to do what he needs to do and lead this team. We had him overall. We had him at 262, 43, and 102. So 263, he finished at 271, 40, and 131. I mean, far surpassed.
Yeah, he blew that away, man. That
What was
RBI
really
total.
impressive
Didn't
this year with
expect
him is that on base percentage, 352. Good job, Pete. Good year.
Yeah,
he had a better he had a better average. He's going to have a higher on base percentage.
and so so Joe
should
was
be doing it.
Joe was closest to average 268. He'll be very happy about that. And the degenerate probably put some bread on that. 40 home runs. We'll split that. Me and Keith, I had 38. You had 42. 46 and 47 for Joe. Then Joe didn't even have the respect. No respect out of Joe. Didn't even give Pete Alonso 100 RBIs. Had him at 96.
Yeah. Hey, considering the team, it's fair, I think.
What I have him at 115, something like that, maybe
101.1.
That's
Light
good.
FM.
That was so far off what I said.
Hey. 112.
All right, go ahead.
What a douche.
Yep.
So not bring your little war to the show. Okay, you
There's
two?
no
Keep
There's no
keep it
war,
on,
but I just a
WhatsApp.
pause here. A serious note. R.I.P. Wow, to Gaylord Perry. See, now I can't.
And his name is Gaylord. Blessing. But come on.
I'm sorry, but yes, he,
Too easy.
he deserves a toast.
He does. Let's have a
314.
toast to Gaylord Perry.
Thank
Okay,
you.
look, Harry.
Hall
He
of
was
Famer.
One of the
I'm
greats.
sure the name Gaylord, when his parents named him in the 40s, meant something
was
different.
meant something.
Well,
Yeah.
Fokker. Yeah, he had Fokker later on.
Your name is
Yeah.
Gaylord Martha Fucker. No, you're going to be Martha Fucker.
314 career wins, 90 career WAR, wins above
Hall of
replacement,
Famer, yeah.
90, 3,500 career strikeouts, and a 3.11 ERA. Just
Those are 314 really soggy, spit, Vaseline up baseballs in his cupboard.
Dude, how many seasons is that he got 3,500 strikeouts? That's incredible.
22 seasons, and he played 10 years for the San Francisco Giants, 4 years for the Rangers, 4 years for Cleveland. He got around. 2 years for the Padres, 2 years for Seattle,
He was
1
a
year for the
skank.
Royals, 1 year for the Brave, 1 year for the Yankees.
Wow.
He retired about 4 years too late, though.
Yeah, and that's back when wins meant something. You know, he went what do you go 7-14.
Wins always mean something. Don't
Well,
kid
no,
yourself.
you know what I mean. You know what
I know what you mean. I know what
yeah.
you mean. Yeah, they'll never
Yeah.
not mean anything.
Yeah, agreed, 100% on that. All right, white chocolate isn't chocolate. I
No,
agree.
it's not. I agree totally. It's not.
Should what do we just call it then? Just feed it to all the possums out there. That's what we do.
White,
Right.
sweet, solid milk.
I don't know what your problem with possums is.
They're nasty and disgusting and evil.
They're awesome.
All right, Jeff McNeil, our
Awesome
boy.
possum.
I'll tell you, we were off on Jeff McNeil this year, especially on the batting average.
Except for me, I hit that on the nail. I picked 326.
Yeah. I mean, we were all in the. I disrespected most at 275. Everybody else had him. Rodriguez 283, 290 for Keith, 288 for Joe.
No, I picked 326.
Don't you lie to me.
After the season ended, I just changed my pick.
Home run. How many home runs did he hit? 9. We got 12 for me, 14 for Keith and Rodriguez, and 20 from Joe. Glad. Yeah, well, I'll let you speak to that, Rodriguez. Why were we happy that Joe was off on that?
Well, we don't want him. We don't need him to be a home run hitter. We need him to be a high average on base guy. So that's his job. Get on base, bat 330, 340, and move it along. He's got a couple of big hitters behind him, depending on where they put him. And he's always going to make contact if people are on base. So he's going to drive runs in. He's going to get on base. He needs to be Jeff McNeil, and that's a high average hitter. Period.
Oh, yeah.
McNeil was
Isaac
very
says great
Kirby
bounce back.
Puckett this year.
Yeah, and I mean, and obviously
Puckett's dead, isn't
McNeil. Oh my God, why are we talking about so much death here?
I don't know.
Let's bring this back up. Keith, stop mentioning dead people.
Good God. Warner Wolf is still alive.
Warner
Isn't he in
Wolf is still
Arizona or
alive.
something?
Warner Wolf lives on in my head and my heart.
Dead your heart.
Warner Wolf, baby. WW.
www.warnersgone.com.
No.
Isn't he dead? Anyway.
He has been for a few years, according to this show. All right, so 62 RBI. We were all around that area, 61 through 72. So nice job by us. Nice job by us there. Eduardo Escobar.
On the back.
Oh boy.
What we say on him?
Who was that guy that used to do that in wrestling?
Barry Horowitz.
Yes. Thank you.
You know, I know that so quick because when I first saw him do that, I didn't realize he was patting himself on the back. I thought he was giving himself a redneck. I thought he was going.
Wow.
Wow.
He had the thing. He had the business in the front, party in the back thing, right?
Yeah.
Barry Horowitz.
Yeah.
And
Did
he
have
had
a mullet.
like the hand on the back of his.
He was
vest
patting
or
himself on the
something.
back, but when I first saw him, I'm like, why is this guy giving him a redneck? And my brother says he's patting himself on the back. He's not giving himself a redneck. And I was like,
Oh my God.
oh, for
Remember
some reason, that
rednecks?
always just stuck in my head.
I don't know what's a redneck.
When you slap somebody really hard in the back of the
Yeah.
neck. You never
And
did that in
then-
school? You run up behind
Oh.
somebody.
Okay.
But then
Yeah.
we used to turn that into take your neck, where we used to slap and then just pull the neck and leave like a burn. With kids are great.
Yeah, that's when you're getting your ass kicked.
Kids are a lot of fun.
Yeah.
They're always so nice.
What, you remember we used to
Uh,
play cup the balls? Anyway, what's the next step?
No, see, that's the thing. That's why he's your boyfriend. That's the game you guys played.
That was in
Not in my
Queens.
neighborhood.
That was a Queens.
That's in
It
Queens.
was a Brooklyn thing. It
Apropos.
only happened when I got
Queens-
off the
Queens.
G train. Get it?
Queens and
Go
Queens.
figure. Go figure. Queens.
All right,
Anyway.
Eduardo Escobar, who, you know what? Speaking of just craziness, the Facebook, social media, Mets world is saying, Escobar 1 year, we're good. He's let's trade him off and be done with him and get what we can from him.
Give me 15 minutes. I'll give you my response on that.
And I think they are not only forgetting the last 45 games of the year they played, but the importance of clubhouse, right? That's an important thing that people overlook. How funny are those TikToks where he's just like, give me a minute, I'll come back 10 seconds,
or give me 10 minutes, or give me 15 minutes.
It's great, and that's a little thing to do, but that it just shows the chemistry and having fun with the other guys.
It does, but on the frustrated side is because he was extremely streaky. He was either an 050 hitter or a 300 hitter.
He's overexposed. He's not a starter.
Yeah, it was too much. Yeah.
Right.
He's not a starter.
No.
He can, especially like Keith said, streaky hitter. Once the streak goes down, get him out of there. Give it to somebody else. Batty definitely should come up with the team this year.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it'll be a job for him to lose at that point because and we'll get into that in the second half of the show. But as far as DH is concerned, now you're starting to hear that this is something that they want to fill
Unless
internally.
we steal Dansby Swanson from the Braves
They
and make him play
should.
third base.
Why not?
Anyway,
Third base. No, but then we can move into first base as part of the 162 plan.
right. Wow.
No, but so I mean, you picked up Vogelback as option, 1.5 million,
I forgot
big
about
deal.
the 162 plan.
So I say big deal about Vogelback. If he produces, he produces. If not, it's only 1.5 million. And I here I am saying only 1.5. But you got other guys. You got
That's what it is.
let's get rid of that douche that we got at the deadline. Escobar can hit if you want to go internally and maybe platoon. Escobar could be your righty DH. He showed all year last year that he was one of the guys that could hit left-handed pitchers. But then we brought in Darren Ruff.
Oh, forget about Darren Ruff. You're gonna.
Sorry,
bust
I
his
had
ass
to.
already. I know you
bring
had
him
to
up.
bring him.
Yeah.
He's gone, dude. He's gone.
Well,
Trust
if
me.
you follow
They can't
If
bring
he
SNY,
is
that back.
on the roster for some crazy reason, I'm gonna flip out. I'm
If you follow-
gonna producer Joe it as far as McCann is concerned.
Oh,
I'm gonna blame
boy.
every loss on Darren Ruff.
well, we know who our
That's true.
catcher is next year. It's the rookie. But if you follow SNY, we're going to have like 10 third basemen next year, only 2 outfielders, but 37 pitchers.
Well, we'll see how
Well,
that goes.
you
But
know.
let's reel this back in here. Eduardo Escobar at 240. Yeah, that's it. 240. That's it's gone.
That's what I thought he would hit.
No. I'm not saying that's it. I'm saying that the graphic is gone.
Oh,
I wasn't making fun of his average. Yeah. Yeah,
shouldn't
all
have
right, so-
you shouldn't have mentioned his name.
240, 20 home runs. He wound up with 20 home runs, and that lends to what you said, Keith, the streakiness, because he was struggling along. Had 69 RBIs. We had them all
69.
255 to 265, so not too far off. Joe, you were the outlier at 294.
Wow.
We were all low 20s for home runs, except for Joe had him at 12. And then I guess we were all pretty close on RBIs. Joe was a little low at 60, and Keith was a little high at 84. So that's pretty much what we expected. And we didn't know what kind of leader we were getting out of him either. So that's
Huge
just
plus.
another.
Huge
But
plus.
like we,
Yeah,
I don't know
and
how that's so.
I-
He's such an underrated leader, right? Coming from Milwaukee.
clubhouse leader, he's really good. And I mean, let's be honest. We said he's streaky, and he was streaky. And a lot of times, his downside of the streaks hurt us a bunch. And to Rodriguez's point, he's not really an everyday player, but still, 20 home runs, 69 RBIs. That also spells clutch to me. So,
How many games did he play?
77.
Too many. He
136.
should have played 20
He
less.
should have played 77.
136. Yeah, or I mean, but he's so sure. Yeah, we're up to Terzio. We're up to Escobar. I was gonna say, let him.
There he is.
Lord,
The best player on the team, man. He's coming up. Re-sign him.
Re-sign him.
5 years.
10-year deal. Get him there.
Hold on. Let me give you my take on that one.
Which one? Oh,
Change his name to Farace.
Okay, that's my take.
Darren Farace.
how dare you? How dare you? All right, let's move it right along to Francisco Lindor.
Ooh,
Don't bring the negative energy in here, Terzio. So Lindor obviously needed desperately a bounce back because this was year one of his the extension, and we would have all, especially the Met fans online, would have been going nuts if he didn't bounce back, and he did in a huge way. So our numbers are kind of jacked up a little bit, especially with the average. What did he finish off with the average? 270. So actually 270, we were high on that. Keith nailed it on the money. 270. Boom.
I know what he told me. He called me up and said that's what I'm going to do.
I had him at 260. Rodriguez 290. Joe 304. Home runs 24. I said what did 26? So we had 24, 31 from Keith, 26 from Rodriguez, and 16 out of Joe. And then RBIs 107. Man, that's just that floors
good.
me.
That's what a 3-place hitter should be.
That absolutely floors me. And we were anywhere between 70 and 88 RBIs. So we weren't expecting that. You Rodriguez, you had him at the highest with 88.
He needed to do better, and he did. Very happy. You could see his talent this year.
Right. I mean, he just killed Keith. He killed almost every Reyes record. He would. I know that there, in your eyes and some eyes, there were some hiccups in the field, but overall,
to start there was.
Yeah,
and then
early.
he got over it real quick. But yeah.
And I think he made most 99.7% the right decisions out there in the field. He's a general out there. He's the first infielder to head over to the pitcher. He's a leader. Yeah, the whole possum and raccoon thing is long gone. Him and McNeil are buddies, pals, amigos.
Slapped his face
like Will Smith.
Yeah,
I don't know if we could say anything more.
He took an adjustment period in New York, and that's understandable. And then he adjusted, and he went right back to his form. Everybody's saying, well, he's declining. Quite frankly, his numbers are right back to where he was in peak form when he was with Cleveland. So
there's a career high in RBI, right?
There's a career high in RBI. Maybe the average isn't there. Home runs are there. He didn't hit 30, but 26. Geez, come on. That's
I'll
amazing.
take 270. I'll take 270 every year. This line out of a shortstop is ridiculous.
Yeah, I have no complaints about any of his stats.
He just turned 29 too. He's got a good 5 years left in him, of those numbers. So
hopefully,
the umpires
staying healthy.
Terzio brings up a good point because the umpires who were in those FTX, was it the patch or what? But they just went belly up. So
not only did they go belly up, but very corrupt.
Very well. Yeah. All that. Did you hear really quick? Miami, the city of Miami, they tried to do this whole Bitcoin thing. I forget what they called their Bitcoin, but they went from a value of like $80 or whatever down to $1.99 or something within a year. Billy Corbin talks a lot about that, so follow him if you're interested in any of that. Yeah, along with the condos collapsing down there. All right, let's keep it moving here. Mark Canha. Are you crying? 266, 13, and 61. So, and Rodriguez, I'll start with you on this one. As I look to see what we got going on.
Are you crying?
But Mark Canha was, is he, in your eyes, is he kind of similar as far as what kind of playing time you would give as if you were the manager of the year, like Buck Showalter, and Eduardo Escobar?
I would give him more time than Eduardo, only because he can play all the outfield positions, rest more people. He can pretty much play every position in the outfield. Give the other guy a day off. He hits for a higher average. When he was batting, you could see how studious he was. That he was looking for that pitch to drive it, do a certain thing with it. I mean, you could tell the guy's a professional hitter, and he plays good defense. He's got great team chemistry. They seem to love him. He loves New York. He was doing the turkey giveaways. I mean, the kid is a guy that I would keep on the team. However, I split time. I definitely would give not let him play every game. He would play 100, maybe 90 games for me, and then I'd bring in some rookie or somebody else to fill in. He's not a starter for me either. He's just like Escobar, but a little better average, and he can play more positions.
Canha's steady Eddie to me. I mean, the guy, you know exactly what you're going to get from him every time he's out there.
His name is Mark.
Yeah, what's wrong with you?
Canha. He's not really streaky. He just, I mean, I remember he had one downturn this season, but for the most part, when he's in the field, he's at the plate, you're gonna get the same guy every game.
He's a solid player, yeah.
Super solid.
That's why I asked about the playing time, because there was that one point where, and glad you brought it up, Keith, was that downturn, and Buck gave him a few days off, and then he came back like sizzling, roaring hot. So he's that guy. Maybe he eats too many meals. He's a big foodie, He's that guy that'll need a few days off every now and then,
Right.
Perfect.
A lot of these guys are not pure
nice,
starters.
Terzio saying nice things about people. That's very nice. He missed the earlier guys. So we had Canha overall 249, 17, and 57, 266, 13, and 61. So damn, that was pretty close, guys. High fives, high fives, self high fives all around, except for Joe. It's a douche.
There we go.
Aww.
All right, let's go now to our. I can't even say our right now. He's a free agent. Center fielder Brandon Nimmo.
Out.
Come on, he's coming back.
He better come back. Yeah, he's coming back. Where we got him 274 on base, and that's low for him. If I can remember that correctly. 367, 16 home runs, 64 RBI, and for us, we had him at 277, 14, and 52. So pretty close. We were 3 points off overall on the average. I think we're pretty damn close on that. We should start
close.
Maybe next year we toss a couple of bucks on there.
There we go. Degenerate. Didn't take long, did it?
Listen,
I'm actually surprised it took this long.
Listen, props all around. But all right, so Brandon Nimmo had the year that we were all waiting for him to have. Surprise, surprise! It comes in contract year, and not to say that Nimmo is that kind of a guy. Sometimes it'll just happen, but maybe you play through a little bit more than you would have. Maybe you don't mention that I got a neck situation every couple of weeks. Rodriguez thinks that Nimmo is, he's made of steel.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? He's made of paper mache. That guy, it's unbelievable. He hurts himself sneezing. He hurts himself taking a piss. I don't know how. Nimmo,
Sammy Sosa
come on,
did that.
dude. Come
Respect
on,
him.
dude. Who?
Remember Sammy Sosa went on the back then DL for he
What?
sneezed and he hurt his back.
That could happen. The
That sounds,
roids
that
just
sounds
take
like
the
something
roids.
Vladimir
They
Guerrero
just-
would have done
They
too.
just screw you up. Well, no,
look
Vladimir
at this, we
Guerrero, he wasn't a roid head. Oh, that's
No,
pretty
but he
cool.
hurt his back
We
a
got
lot.
a
He
Nice
new
hurt his
little
job,
back
thing
a
here.
lot.
producer Joe.
The
Yeah,
producer
he would
Joe's
have
gonna
much better
listen.
numbers if he.
Let's
if
give
he
it up
played
for
more
producer Joe today. Producer Joe's doing a good job.
What is this? What are you kissing his ass now? A few minutes ago, you called him bad names. Now you want to kiss his
I would
butt.
never call him a bad name. All right, let's move it on here.
Rewind,
Starlin Marte,
rewind the tape.
Mr.
Okay.
Marte.
Let me just say, you know what? We're gonna talk free agency. I'll talk about Brandon Nimmo then.
You
My
watch your
apologies.
mouth.
You watch your mouth there, Mister.
You watch your
It's
mouth when
hard
you
to
talk to
do.
me. All right, 292 was what Marte came in as. We had him at 296, 13 and 50.
Wow.
Look at us. Look at us. And Rodriguez, I was a little surprised because you made mention a few times during the season that you underestimated Marte. You had him at 284, 18 and 62. Very solid year. But I have a feeling that what you didn't expect was him contributing in all the other ways.
Well, he has a really good arm, which surprised me. I mean, I didn't know he could throw that well.
Mhm.
And he's a definite 5'2" player. The guy can play, man. I
He's
mean,
a
the numbers
leader.
and he's a leader, and he's a recruiter. Okay, remember that, guys. He's trying to recruit that Marlins pitcher. Okay, he's got a lot of friends. People really like him. So he's a guy that other guys will come play on the team with. So when you have guys like that, like Lindor, like Pete, like Sterling Marte, Escobar, high character guys, they bring other people and they make the team better. So
And he's a pimp daddy. You
type of
see him
guy.
when he's off the field? That dude is.
And-
He's like.
And
What he wore
he's doing,
to
he's
whatever
doing
the
very
awards
well.
was.
He's doing very well at home. So he dresses pimp daddy, but he's holding it down because, damn.
And
But
then Keith Terzio's talking about it now. Marte, as you know, we could blame whatever we want to blame on what happened at the end of the season.
What's
But-
with the blaming?
But not like finger pointing, but the Marte injury was pretty
Big.
devastating.
I was about to touch on that, and if I could just jump in real quick. So
Touch
to
it.
me, when he got hurt, how hard the impact was on our lineup was a little disturbing because yes, he's a great hitter. Yes, any lineup missing a hitter like that would feel it, but we just kind of like
Feel it.
we just kind of
Touch it
like
and feel it.
And feel it.
the whole lineup was gaping without him.
Touch it. Feel it.
It was very noticeable that when he left the lineup, the whole entire team just kind of offensively took a crap. And that's not good, because like I said, he's a great offensive player, but we should not have missed him that hard where we just couldn't score any runs until he came back. That was a little disturbing.
Everybody took a dump at the same time.
was
Bro.
all-
Escobar was slumping. Kana was slumping. Everyone slumped at the
Yeah.
same exact minute. That's what
And
happened.
the other
That's why
team
we gave
didn't.
up the lead. The other team kept playing.
The
The
other
other
team
team
didn't
played
slump.
really well.
He's
So-
another one though. He never really slumped. I don't ever
Marte
remember
didn't
him.
slump. I don't feel it.
Yeah, like he
I agree
had
with you.
very
He was hurt
short.
though. He got hurt.
He got
Yeah.
hurt, but
At
he
the
didn't have
most
like a Conha
inopportune
slump
time.
or like not Conha, excuse me, an Escobar slump. He didn't really slump. He just was fairly consistent, and his glove and arm, like you said, Rodriguez was, I mean, tops in
Yeah,
the league.
Good player.
And-
he's
and look
he's
at
a
the
good
form.
player. Solid.
This is the difference between like Rodriguez, the expectations. Like Marte comes in it has been a solid player his whole year. Lindor comes into New York, and he is the superstar player all of his life, all of his career in Cleveland. The pressure coming to New York of the superstar is greater than the pressure coming to New York than the more even keeled guy.
Absolutely, yeah.
So Marte flourished. He had so much fun in right field with those fans all the time. You always saw him interacting with the fans. So he knows the deal. That guy can play anywhere.
And he had the Joe Namath approach too.
Yeah.
You know, like with the fur coats and everything. He came with the unbuttoned jackets and the gold. You know, he was just super fly. He didn't care. He went out there. He did his thing. He let his personality take over.
Mm-hmm.
People loved him. Fans loved him, and can't wait to see what he does next year.
Yeah, for sure.
He was balling. There's nothing else to say. He was balling
all season. And then I do want to, as we go through this list, I do want to give credit where it's due to Joe and Robinson Cano. Don't you know? Keep going, Joe. Keep going. 195. We already talked about McCann, Frank. 195. Is that 1? Oh, 1 and 3. 1 home run, 3 RBIs. Joe had him at 2 home runs and 5 RBIs at 230. Perfect. Yeah, that's
what do the rest of us pick him at? I'm just curious.
I had him 245, 7 and 25. Keith, you had him at 240. 12 home runs and 30 RBI.
Wait a minute. 245.
I was wishful thinking.
245, 7 and 25. I want to go back to Farace. What did you predict? What did you predict? Yeah.
245, 7 and 25. But that 25 RBI, that's crappy. Wait a second. All right. So, and then Rodriguez. Wait, well, why are you laughing more at mine? You're not laughing more at mine, right?
Yes,
Keith had higher numbers.
Yours, man. No, it's yours. It's yours.
Why? Well, Keith had him at 12
I expected him to be doing steroids, bro.
Wait, Keith. Wait, hold on.
That's what I thought. He was going to do steroids.
Keith had him at 240, 12, and 30.
But Keith already hit how many stats? 1 or 2 on the nail, like right on the head. So, Keith is...
Shut up.
He gets a little leeway here.
I don't know. Keith wasn't calling me a douchebag before. That's why I'm laughing at you.
So it's personal. It's a personal.
Joe, not only you're not a douchebag, right. I think you're sexy as hell.
I gave you a round of applause.
You get this the rest of the show.
Applause.
There you go. Everybody else, turn your cameras off. It's over.
I gave him a round of applause. Nobody's ever given producer Joe a hand on air.
No one gives hand jobs here.
No.
Really?
Nope. Not since 2 years ago.
And honestly, I think producer Joe has enough integrity that he would not even accept a hand job from you.
Integrity.
From you, maybe. You just soften them up for it.
Hold on. Rodriguez had Cano at 275, 14 home runs, and 59 RBI.
Right. And he didn't take any roids. How's that my fault?
Yeah, it's right. It's his fault. He didn't roid up. Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to pitchers here.
Let's never move back to Cano again.
Mr. J, yeah. Well, listen, the Robinson Cano thing got us the best closer in all of baseball. And then if you look at the names that went back, it's meh, right? Or Jay Bruce is retired with his butt problems. Swarzak had a good year. 1, right? Everybody else, Kelenic has not shown a thing. He had a little spurt of a couple home runs in a few games.
Why are we talking about people that aren't even around? Screw them.
I got yelled at about Cano.
By who?
About Cano, by Keith.
Oh, don't you?
All right, so what do you mean? All right, let's get into Jacob deGrom. The deGrominator.
Scarecrow.
We got 5-4, 3.08 our ERA. We had him. Overall we had him at 15-5, a 2.28 ERA.
Oh my god.
But we also had him in a lot more game starts. I'm thinking than 11. Obviously, a disappointing year. WHIP and average, right where you want it to be, but the results were just not there. And obviously, a free agent. We'll talk about that in a few minutes here. Let's get through. Max Scherzer was next, the highest annually paid pitcher in baseball. He goes 11-5, 2.22, 2.29 ERA, and we had him 14-6, 2.63. So he did better than what we thought the old fella, the old younger than me old fella,
he's a pitcher.
was gonna go. We were all around 13 to 16 wins and ERAs from 2.10 to 2.5. So we were all in that general area. Next up here we got Bassett, Mr. Bassett, who is also a free agent. He goes 15-9. I don't know that we expected 15 wins. No, none of us did. 12-6, 3.26 ERA. He outperforms that. Rodriguez, money well spent.
What did I say?
You?
What did I say on him?
You went 14-7. 3.25.
Okay.
Yeah. You had the highest win total.
Yeah. That's fair. He did what I expected. He's a solid pitcher the whole year. Did a great job. I mean, he filled in for the Scarecrow. The Scarecrow was pretty much out all season, and this kid just helped himself out.
He was our number 2.
He was the number 2 pitcher on the team for sure.
I like that deal, Terzio.
Throughout the whole year.
Terzio says give him 3 years, $63 million.
Crap. I gotta step
3.
away from
I wouldn't give him even
back.
more.
All right, Keith.
I wouldn't even give him more than 3. I like Terzio's idea. I mean, he is a deception pitcher. He doesn't pitch with speed. He mixes his pitches and actually locates and all that good stuff like a real pitcher should. But he just doesn't have the high caliber fastball. So he's money well spent. I bring him back for sure.
I'm in. That was a huge trade. Made. Thank you to
I'm not
Oakland.
sure. I'm not sure that he wants to come back though. What do you think, Farace? I mean, he sounded a little bit bitter a couple of times. He sounded like he might have had a little issue with the deGrominator, or guys that throw so hard that they take themselves out of play.
I think he's just got a different mentality about how to go about. But I also think that surrounding yourself with guys like Scherzer and deGrom, if the Mets are able to come to an agreement on deGrom, that's probably best for your career than going.
I mean, he should finish it out in New York. He can make a lot of money. He can make a lot of money and actually build himself a reputation and make some money afterwards. All for that, but he'll be loved
Bassett's
forever.
a Mets kind of guy.
Dude,
he's
it's like a Steve trash can. Guys that just come in and play and you forget about them.
That was a quick.
He's a beast.
Steve trash can. What a great reference. Good one. But that's a Steve trash can or a Mark Clark. Yeah.
Mark Clark.
He's
trash
a
can's
perfect
different
number
from the
3.
ones that they use in Houston.
Bobby Jones.
Bobby Jones with the mouthpiece crap. But Bassett Hound stepped up to a number
Bobby Jones. Which Bobby Jones?
The starting pitcher that was pretty good for a minute.
Yeah, mouthpiece. Oh no, I'm thinking about who was mouthpiece. Who was the other guy? Bobby Jones was back in the.
No,
Bobby Jones pitched that
in the 90s,
awesome.
And we had 2 Bobby Jones. We had Bobby J. Jones and Bobby M. Jones.
I don't know which is which, but the Bobby Jones that I'm thinking, he pitched that fantastic game against, I think it was the Giants.
Colorado?
Or Colorado.
Right-handed pitcher, didn't throw that hard, had good location and very, very accurate. So
California boy.
Well. Mm-hmm.
Chris Bassett is an amazing number 3 pitcher. He stepped up to a number 2 this year. I wouldn't count on that go forward. I think he can stay a number 3 pitcher for the next 2-3 years. I think that's
if he learns how to pitch against the National League West, he'll have a better stat line. He got
the whole team
roughed
struggled
up
a little bit against them. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Well, besides that, the end of the season, he got beat up pretty bad against the Dodgers and the Padres and the Giants. I think it was one of each. So, and we'll need that. We'll need him to be better going forward. Cookie Carrasco, who is they brought him right back in, pitched well. I mean, this is. I mean, when you think about that trade that was made, and you see this and what Carlos Carrasco gave us last year, injury filled, all that stuff, the cancer scare, the injury stuff with the arm, all that stuff. Cleveland gets traded. This was the year to kind of judge him. 15-7, 3.97 ERA, sub 4. That's what you like to see. And then we had him. We disrespected this guy. Not Rodriguez. Rodriguez is not this. Rodriguez is a Cookie fan through and through. What we had him overall as a site, not too far off on the ERA, but 4.05. But the win total, we had him at 7-7 overall. But Rodriguez had him at 12-8. So most of the disrespect came from Keith.
Right. Well, Keith, listen.
It was an unexpected. We didn't know.
So the first year he came in, understandably, he had a lot of physical issues. He's not the youngest pitcher out there. So a lot of times when there's a pitcher that is not the youngest pitcher, he's in his 30s, which is young in life, but not young in baseball. You don't expect them to recover as well as he did from all these physical ailments, including cancer, and thankfully he's okay and everything else. But he proved me and a lot of people wrong. He came back and he became a very, very solid, dependable pitcher. Number 4 on any good staff.
Oh, hell
Number
yeah.
3 on a lot of other staffs. Yep.
Look at it here. Our 3 and 4 had 30 wins.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Had we had our ace, had we had the ace for the year,
I put Bassett ahead of deGrom this year because of the injuries and everything else. So I still consider Bassett a number 2.
He won more games and he pitched more games. It's definitely more valuable than deGrom.
I'm just calling him the ace because that's what he came in as. But Carrasco showed Rodriguez. Carrasco showed to be very resilient. He had a lot of base runners. To be frank, a whip of 1.33, 272 average against. But the tremendous defense behind made up double plays here and there. And he showed the resiliency to come back from giving up a lot of base runners.
He also had a very Bartolo Colon approach on the mound where you never saw panic in his face. He'd have 2 runners on. He'd run counts, and he just.
I saw panic. I saw sweat. I saw him sweating like a pig.
He did sweat a lot. Yeah, he did sweat a lot.
He's a sweaty guy.
But he did it. Okay, but you see some pitchers, you can see it in their eyes. They get all upset. Not to a Scherzer level, but I think Carrasco held himself pretty well on that mound. Now he wasn't Bartolo, where Bartolo would just walk around the mound tossing the ball in the air to himself.
He was shit about anything.
Yeah, right. But
it's a game.
What I guess my point is, long story short, his veteran experience and leadership really allowed him to handle those situations well, where there was a lot of runners on and he was giving up a lot of base hits.
Yeah, no, 100%. And then what was his? Did they have that here? 152. So more than a 3-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. Let's continue on here. Taijuan Walker, Yaiwan, who the Mets did not extend an offer to this time around. That doesn't mean that he's not going to be signed. That just means that they didn't extend a $19 million offer.
They also didn't give him a qualifying, so
he didn't want to come back. He didn't want to come back.
Yeah.
So
he
got what he wanted, dude. He came back from injury.
The resurrection.
Team to get better. The resurrection did a good job. No hard feelings on my account. He played well. He played hard. He was a team guy. So peace.
Yeah. 12-5. So
Mhm.
I bring that to say that that's something that we got to replace. A not awful whip. I mean, 1.19. He also battled out of some spots. Didn't have as many strikeouts as Carrasco, but he kept his walk total down. But his walks, Rodriguez, were a lot in spurts. So he would get in trouble
Right.
and he loses
Right.
command. But when he was on, right?
When
So
he was on, he was fantastic because he'd have
yeah,
the slider working on the outside corner. He throws decently hard enough. He's goofy looking enough. He's awkward enough that throws people off. But he may not have the New York mentality. He may be a Cali guy or a Seattle Mariner type of guy. Someplace else where he can,
Seattle
grow his hair
Rangers.
long and hang out. Maybe not
Texas.
a New York guy. Texas. There you go.
All right,
Rangers.
the one other guy that I want to just look at here is David Peterson, just because of he bounced back from an awful year last year.
Mhm.
To really come through in some big spots for us this year. 7-5, 3.81 is what we predicted for him. And then Peterson. Wait, what? What is that? An exacto, guys? 7-5. We predicted 7-5. He went 7-5.
Look at him. Still gambling. Degenerate.
Oh my God! 3.81 ERA. He 3.83.
Who hit that?
Oh,
Man,
It's
we
you?
would. How much money
if
would
we
have
would
been
have,
that, Farace?
if you would have landed that exact, fucking retire.
You hit that, Farace?
I wish. Oh,
Who
hit
was
that?
who was close?
No, who is close? So what was it? 7-5, 3.83. 7. I had him at 6 wins. Rodriguez and Joe at 8. You had him at 5. Losses 5. You had an exact 5. Rodriguez 5, and then ERA 3.83. We had him. I had him 4.10. Joe had him at 3.40. Oh, Rodriguez 3.80.
Wow,
So
close,
close.
buddy.
So close. Key
Smoking, baby.
3.93. But needless to say,
Still
we
pretty
all
close,
thought
too.
that he was going to have a bounce back. He did. And now he's going to
No,
be
I hope
fighting
that's
for
not
that.
his ceiling. I hope that's not the best he can do.
Right.
I hope that's
Right.
just something that, as a young pitcher, he gets better. If that's his ceiling, we're screwed. But you
How
don't
many
know. I mean,
starts?
Well,
I
let's
think he
let's
should
look
be a
at it this way.
starter.
Those stats are kind of, sort of, in many situations, right? Because he went to the pen, then he go
How
down to
many
the
innings did he
minors,
pitch?
and then he did a lot of spot starting. He pitched
105.
105.2 innings, and he did some really quality
Okay.
spot starting
Okay. That's
when
good then.
other players got hurt. So
That's
I
a
mean,
15-game winner.
he
Okay.
pitched in a lot of
126 strikeouts to 48 walks. He got his, perception wise. I'm not going back to last year,
too many
but
walks,
perception
but
wise,
yeah.
it's still high on the walks, but it's better than the the regression that he had last year.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
But
So
he
and he's
pitched in a
going to be
lot of
fighting for that
adverse
fifth spot.
situations, spot starting, out of the pen.
Mhm.
So give him a lot of credit because it's not easy to constantly change your frame
I
of
agree.
mind like that. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, and then let's get to some bullpen here. We're coming up on it, so I don't know if we wait for next week to talk about some of the major free agent stuff. I think
so.
that that might be wise. We also do have a show, Unsportsmanlike Conduct, coming up next at 7:30. All sports. Terzio, we're not going to talk about Dom Smith now. We're not going to, beat him while he's down. Diaz, Mr. Diaz, he who is extended 5 years, no trade clause, all that good stuff. Man, you think about it after that first year, you were like, no way.
Isn't it 3
Can't get
years
in.
with 2 years of options, team player options?
It's 5 years total, and I think 3 years for an opt out. Is it?
I thought it was 3 years with the last 2 years being a player team option.
Could be, but
Whatever it is, but we got him.
But regardless, you didn't see after that first year. You kind of thought that he was going to be one of those guys that can't make it in New York. When somebody gives up, what was it, 16, 17, ninth inning home runs, that's your job. It just doesn't work out very well. But you cannot ask for a more dominating closer than what we had this year. He gave us 5 out saves when we needed it. He gave us the 1 out saves in a mop-up role that became a save situation type of deal. He created that buzz, that energy, that excitement in Queens, where the fans were just going with the song and all that stuff. So Edwin Diaz became so much more than what we ever imagined. Kind of like what he could be. Look at his whip, 0.84. Guys hit 160 against him. He goes 3-1, which is not as important. A 1.31 ERA. This guy is as dominant as you can get. We had him going 3-4 with a 2.39 ERA. Joe had the belief. Joe had him at 1.80 ERA. He had him at the lowest ERA. But we've never had a guy in Rodriguez. We've had closer after closer after closer, Benitez and all these guys, but we've and who have done well for us. Some we hate, some we don't hate as much. But this guy did everything that could have been asked for and more. And he loves New York. New York loves him. Didn't seem as though in 2019 that would ever happen. What do you think about this guy and how he's grown?
Well, I mean, look, he's been with us for 4 years already. Okay, the first year was a bomb.
Which how the hell did that happen already?
I mean, think about it. He came to us after saving 57 games. So the guy's not a schmuck. He has a bad year, came back, did better, and this year, I mean, and who knows what he can do this year? He could get better. He could get 10 more saves if he develops an off-speed pitch to throw batters off. After throwing 100, you throw a changeup, batters are going to piss themselves. That's all he needs. One more pitch. He's dominant right now. One more pitch will make him unhittable and probably turn him into this era's, skanky guy. The guy from across the way. Even though I respect him, great closer. However, he's going to end up playing with us for 9 years, and at the end of the day, he's going to hold all the reliever records if he stays consistent. He stays healthy. He likes it in New York. His family likes it in New York. He's Puerto Rican. He fits in New York. It's easy for him in New York. I don't see a downside on, God forbid any type of injury. But if he's good, we have a dominant closer for at least 5 years, dude.
He finished with 32 saves, 32 out of 35 saves. So sue him for his 3 mistakes the whole season. Rodriguez, you had him at 2.45 with 42 saves. I had him at 2.80, 40 saves. Rodriguez, Keith 2.50, 34 saves, and Joe had him at 38 saves. I mentioned the 1.80 ERA that he mentioned or that he predicted. Right. 118 strikeouts, 18 walks.
They couldn't hit him. That's when you throw 100. That's what happens. 100 with a slider.
Keith, what's the difference from your expectation when you see him coming in when he first came to the Mets versus now? How can there be more polar opposites?
It probably took about till mid-season till I fully bought the whole Edwin Diaz process.
Such a pessimist.
Being a good, not
as bad as Joe.
He don't you talk about my Joe producer that way. He was lights out. I mean, it was for the second half of the season when he came in. I knew we were shutting this thing down. The guy averaged almost 18 strikeouts per 9 innings. And if you look at it, he almost
That's 2
averaged,
out of every 3 outs.
Right. It's just crazy. And if you really look at what he did this year, I don't know if it was coaching, his own realization, or what happened, but he was not scared when he came in. He would throw that fastball anywhere he wanted to, including up and in, and then he threw the off-speed stuff in perfect timing. Like he just had no fear this year. And if you look at him in past years, he was very timid coming out. He didn't know where to place the ball. He didn't want to come in with his fast stuff. So he just came in and he just told these batters, "This is my plate. This is my game, and I'm shutting you down." And he did it. So where I was from the past till now was a 180, complete turnaround.
And one of my favorite gifs is of him pointing at the Braves dugout.
Yeah,
And I know what happened, but it's him putting people on notice. I'm we're gonna shut this shit down. We're gonna have a battle for the next
they also
5-10
tried to
years.
steal his song. They attacked him heavily from a fan
Assholes.
base, and
Assholes.
yeah, exactly. So that's why I think we should get Dansby. But that's for next week.
All right, just a few more really quickly here because they're going to be important moving forward. Rodriguez's favorite guy, Trevor May.
He needs to go.
What? Where's it? No, how many years do we have for?
I'm not going to change my mind. I'm going to keep saying what I'm saying, Farace, and you know why. He needs to go.
Trevor, where is he?
He's gone.
There's Trevor May. There you go. 2-0. He was undefeated this year.
Yeah. Okay. He was undefeated.
Trevor May is one of those guys that
didn't take a loss. He gave everybody else a loss. How many games did he lose for people? Like 6?
He was undefeated the same way Muhammad Ali beat George Foreman with the rope-a-dope. He took a lot of hits.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But I will say though that there are some guys as you look up and down this roster and then on the hitting side that you look at halves of the season. Trevor May had a better second half. Let's hope that continues on. Rodriguez hates him. Mr. Lugo. No.
Before we even get to Lugo.
No.
Were you waiting on Ottavino?
Maybe.
Okay, then go ahead.
All right. Mr. Lugo, 3-2, 3.60 ERA. Full. I mean, he was in the pen the whole year. ERA higher than what we thought it was going to be, or higher than what we've been used to.
That's a good description of what I felt for Lugo this year. He looked tired. Like he
was going through some personal stuff with his family, I believe, with his daughter and his kids. Yeah. So I can give him a pass on this year, but he was definitely not the loogie that we know.
And that makes sense, Rodriguez, because he definitely he got out there, he just kind of looked like he wasn't into it.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Now, all of a sudden, Rodriguez is like, I'll give him a pass. But Trevor May, who was hurt multiple times and played through it in the first half of the year, but then took the right amount of time off, got healthy, came back and pitched really well. You can't wait
one
to get
game.
rid of him.
One game.
Wait to get
one game. What are you talking about?
You know something? You're not a Met fan.
Please,
You're not a Met fan. Please. You don't know. How many games you watched? You didn't watch any games this year. You don't even know what you're talking about.
I don't
know. You're not a Met fan.
You're not a Met fan. 4 miles an hour straight down the middle. All right? You don't have to be a Met fan to know.
You're going to make him want to kill. Trevor May's going to die, and you push Rodriguez to go kill him.
Rodriguez, who do you love more, Givens?
He deserves it.
Or May?
He's one of 3 pitchers that got no losses this year. 2-0.
He's perfect.
Look at him.
Yeah, because he gave the losses to everybody else. He should be 2-7. How many games did he lose for the starter already?
Trevor May.
Million.
Stop.
Rodriguez, you had 3.58 ERA. You had him at 2-4. You had the right number, but you didn't expect this man to be undefeated.
No,
4 losses.
He doesn't have. He doesn't
0
throw speed.
Settle losses.
How's he gonna strike anybody out? How's he gonna get anybody out?
American. He fights for
the rights of every man.
Yeah.
All right.
Real hero.
Wow. All right. Drew Smith. 3-3. These are real stats. 3-3, a 3.3. Wow. 3.33 ERA. A 2.22 batting average against. Look at this. And
Trade him.
we had, where the hell did he go? Drew Smith, 2-2, 3.60 ERA. Very close. Very close. 222 batting average against. Not awful.
Gave up
I
a
think
couple of good home runs, though.
it was I felt like it was a stretch that he was getting bombed, but he was fantastic before. And I don't think that he came back from that injury. But it was a stretch because he at one point he had an ERA sub 250, or sub 220 or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
for
was
like a
having a good
month.
year for us. I can't be mad at Drew Smith.
Don't be. He's not
Next,
on the team this year. Don't chuck him.
all right, let's now hit it Ottavino. He is the free agent.
That's the guy.
In that pen that this is a funny guy that a few years ago I wanted to sign him. The Yankees signed him. I was pissed. He sucked. I was happy. And then the Mets got him and he did really well. So
Good.
last year 6-3, 2.06 ERA, 2.06 in 65 innings.
It's a tough.
Whip below 1. Batting average is 204. Our expectations 4-3, 3.84. Far exceeded that. And it is a true setup man. Didn't seem to falter in many spots, but he's a free agent. I don't know that the Mets are looking to do more than 2 years on those kind of relievers, but we'll see. And we'll obviously talk about
how much
that
you want to
more
give a
next week.
37-year-old reliever who has a consistent up and down career? I mean, he had a career year
but
with
you
us
gotta
at
see
36.
the movement that he had on that ball, man. It's going out of the strike zone. That slider, that thing that he had, it was nasty. You got to give a guy like that another contract, man. At least give him 2 years.
I'm good with 2 years. That's my point.
Oh,
Like,
I'm good. I'm good with 2 years. I'm just
how
saying
much
that.
more do you want to give him? That's what I'm saying.
But you're giving Vogel fat actual money, and he can't do anything but halfway swing at bat.
Swing at one level pitch. He can't swing at a low pitch.
So to me,
can't swing at a high pitch.
So at least get a guy that can.
I think Vogelbach
pitch.
is insurance. So it's a $1.5 million contract. We got a part DH player, bench player, pinch hitter, and if we get somebody else who's better, we'll eat the 1.5. And because in baseball, that's nothing. Unfortunately for me, that's a whole lot. I'll take that. But for Adam Ottavino, I don't know what he's going to be asking for 2 years. He might be asking for $10 million a year or something ridiculous.
That's fine. As long as it's 2 years. As long as it's 2 years.
As long as it's 2 years. Yeah,
yes.
I agree.
If it's 2 years, like Terzio saying 2 years, 21. I'm 4 years ago, I would have said no, because that's going to hamstring everything else that we want to do on the team.
Right,
because we would have lost. Would have been out of money. But if they give him 2 years, 21 million, I'm fine. This ownership has already shown that if you ain't cutting it, you gone. And that's what'll happen. But all right, so we went through. We left out some of these guys like Sean Reed Foley. We don't have to go through those, but I think for the most part, there were a couple that we were pretty far off on, but for the most part, we were pretty spot on. And I absolutely think we should put some money on it next year.
Let's do it.
Do it. All right, Producer Joe will put up 75% of the cash, and we'll split it off by 4 when we win.
That works.
All right. Terzio, just a couple of comments. Volga back. He's got to get the F out. PG-13. There it is. Trevor May.
There he is. Winner.
If the Mets get something better, he's gone.
That's called meat. He's
Chicken dinner.
Meat. It's not even a fastball. Woo! Here you go, guys. Hit it.
That's the meatball.
That's the meatball.
All right.
Maybe he'll be good.
All right. Let's go ahead and get a round robin going in through here. Final thoughts, Big Vogelback. Final thoughts on our way out, and then we'll say ta-ta until next week. Keith?
Okay, yeah. Good. I mean, good job for the Put It in the Books crew. We did a good job on our predictions.
Awesome. Different Joe.
I can't wait till next year. I mean, Actually, I can't wait until after the winter meetings because there's going to be a lot of free agency
There he
action
is.
going on.
That's when he was good.
Yeah, I really, yeah, I really want to see what the Mets are going to do, and I'm very anxious to see what our team's going to look like for 2023. Let's go Mets. We'll talk next week about free agency and hot stove.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
We're contending
Rodriguez.
we're contending for a championship next year. That's all there is to it. We're gonna sign people. We got a lot of money. You know, it's done. We'll have a good year. I'll see you guys next week when we talk about how much Farace sucks. I mean the Yankees suck.
What? What? Yeah, that'll do it for this week. And we'll talk next week. We'll talk about some of the free agent stuff going on. We'll have some more news. The winter meetings get started in about a week. So lots of good stuff. And for everybody out there that says, "Oh, the Mets aren't doing anything," nobody's done anything. The Mets, the only thing that they did was secure the best closer in all of baseball. They talk about that Abreu thing that happened yesterday. Yeah, that would have been a nice piece for the lineup, but his stats can be done by or replicated by others. So chill out on that. Let's see what happens next week. Not many free agents have signed, so I just don't get that part. I do get it when I know the
End of the
that
year.
we're talking
End
about.
of the year. End of the
Keith,
year.
you're on mute.
More than normal. I see Met fans have been fairly patient.
Don't you lie. Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. Maybe.
All right.
Bruh.
Bruh.
All right.
Bruh.
Producer Joe, any closing remarks here? You did a great job today.
No. Very happy. I'm a happy guy. Shut up. Shut up, Rodri. You know what? I gotta hang on. There we go.
Oh.
And now his audio probably is blown. Now let's go Mets. It's been a good off season. We got Diaz locked up, and I think we're going to sign Trevor May next week. And things are looking
long
good.
term, 10 years.
What?
Yes, that's right. Yes, Trevor May.
What?
Trevor
What?
May. Trevor May.
We're going to sign him for 10 years. We want him pitching for us in his 40s.
10 years, 141. Boom. That sounds.
He pitches now
ideal.
like he's in his 40s. What's the difference?
Oh,
man. Get us out of here. Get us the hell out of here.
Oh, already? Now? You mean like now?
Are you crying? Are you crying?
Oh, whoops. Sorry. You meant now, right?
Hold up, somebody!